Hey, what's up, America? My name is Mr. G, your student meteorologist studying at Mississippi State University, and I have a weather forecast for you guys. Happy weekend. I hope you guys all had a great Saturday and having a wonderful Sunday. We're about at that midday point, about 1:30 in the Central Daylight Time area. So here in Minnesota, we are looking at a beautiful day out there with those temperatures in the upper 50s right now, under sunny skies, very pleasant conditions here across the upper Midwest and into the northern plains. Our city of the day is going to be Los Angeles, California, where there is a beautiful afternoon on tap across the Southland, and we are seeing very sunny skies, so mostly clear out there. Those temperatures are going to be in the lower 70s today and lower 80s in the valleys and some of the interior portions, but in the upper 60s along the coastal section. So Santa Monica, Long Beach, Huntington Beach, Laguna Beach will see those temperatures in the 60s. And if you are in the LA Basin or Orange County, if you're say LA, downtown LA, Long Beach, or if you're in say one of the suburbs like Pomona or San Bernardino, or even, going to be a little bit warmer in the inland valleys. Going to see those temperatures in the 80s, but if say downtown LA or Santa Monica is a coastal section, so that's going to be in the 60s. I'm trying to think of what suburbs are in the basin. So we got Paramount, Compton, yes, we're talking about Norwalk, Downey. If you're in the LA Basin or you're in Orange County, Tustin, Anaheim, we're talking Irvine. If you're in any of those locations, we're going to see those temperatures in the 70s. So all in all, a beautiful day in SoCal. So there's plenty to do with this is SoCal. This is LA we're talking about. I don't know who the Rams or the Chargers are playing, or if they're at home this weekend, but you could have gone out to check out the football, or you could go to the beach. It's always a beautiful day at the beach. The fog and the low clouds have burned off now. It's brilliant sunshine out there. So you are in the land of plenty, where you have plenty of activities to do. So go out there and partake and enjoy this beautiful day. But let's talk about the forecast coming up for the rest of the week here in our new week that we are moving into, as we are in the middle of December of October. So we're mid-October now, well into our fall season. It's starting to feel like fall out there across a lot of parts of the country. Some areas are still trying to hang on into summer, particularly the desert Southwest. We're seeing those temperatures still in the 90s and low 100s across parts of the southern deserts. We are seeing some wintry weather in the northern Rockies and into the northwest, where we've been seeing some rain showers in Oregon and Washington. We've had that nor'easter across the northeast, where we saw some heavy rain and some flooding and gusty winds. That's starting to head on out. We're going to see it replaced with some frost advisories. Very cold and blustery weather conditions will take place before a very nice warm up and improvement in the conditions about the middle of the week. Pleasant weather will continue across the south, the southeast, and we're going to see a lot of rain begin to move in to parts of the central and southern plains, as we're looking at the remnants of Hurricane Norma coming up out of Mexico. So let's jump into all of that and move on with the rest of the forecast. All right, so here's the rest of the weather forecast for the rest of America as we take a look at a dynamic weather pattern that's going to be setting up across the country through this week. So with our first map, we're going to be taking a look at what's going to be taking place the rest of this weekend. And we have that big ridge of high pressure that's moving across the north central United States, coming out of the western states. We're going to continue to see that warmth down here from Texas through the desert Southwest and into Southern California. But meanwhile, up here across the Rockies and the northern plains, we will see mild weather conditions, pretty mild for this time of the year. So that's going to be very pleasant. But near this trough that's coming into the Pacific Northwest, there are some rain showers and wind up there across Oregon and Washington on the western side of the Cascade Mountain Range. That's going to be bringing some showery weather over to that area. And then down here across the south and east, dry weather conditions, lower humidities, and very pleasant temperatures will be on tap for you guys. So please enjoy your Sunday today. And in the Northeast, unfortunately, this is the 7th consecutive wet weekend that you've had in the Northeast and into New England. So we're going to see that nor'easter wind up out there and push on off into Canada and the North Atlantic. But on the backside, we're going to start to see windy conditions and much colder temperatures and some fog and dew setting up. So a lot of frost and freeze advisories will develop across parts of the Northeast as we get into the early part of this upcoming week. So with the next map, let's talk about a little bit more about what we're going to be seeing in the early part of the week now. So in the early part, we had a hurricane down here across Mexico. That tropical system it will dissipate and the remnant will move into Texas. And that remnant will bring with it a lot of moisture and very heavy rain into Texas and parts of Oklahoma and maybe even to New Mexico. That is going to be a lot of really drought relief for those parts of the southern plains where we can see up to 6 to 8 inches of rainfall in some locations down here across Texas. It's still going to stay pretty warm across the desert southwest. Not as warm as it was, but still warm across the deserts and through the central Rockies into the central and northern plains. A very nice warm week to start will be taking place for you guys, and warm, nice, mild conditions. Not as warm as it is over here, but still pretty pleasant for this time of the year here across parts of the northern Rockies and the Pacific Northwest. But there is the storm system tracing along the U.S. and Canadian border. That's going to spread rain showers across the Montana, North and South Dakota, and northern Minnesota in the early part of the week. And nice dry weather conditions in the Northeast and a little bit warmer as well, as we finally will lose those gusty winds and those chilly conditions, and the warmth will settle back in as high pressure moves into the Northeast through midweek. So with our next map, here we are as we talk about a pattern change that is going to take place this week. So we're going to see a midweek change in the pattern. That high pressure that's over the northwest will slide to the Midwest and through the Great Lakes. So we're going to see warmer weather, drier weather, and a big ridge of high pressure move through the central to southern plains, and that's going to make for pleasant weather conditions across the Midwest. And we're also going to see nice weather across the southeast as well, down into Florida. Lower humidities, drier, finally get rid of some of the rain that we've seen, and that's going to eventually spread into the northeast as well. Still a little bit chilly on Monday and Tuesday. A little bit of coldness in the morning that's going to lead to some frost on the grass out there, but not too bad. It's going to warm up quickly, especially on your Tuesday. We're going to see a nice warm up, and you won't have to worry about that frost when we get into Wednesday. But on the flip side, the northwest, that trough out west will deepen. We will see snow start to spread through the northern Rockies and into the Pacific Northwest. We will continue to see rain in the Pacific Northwest, but temperatures will get as much as 25 degrees cooler than it was last week. We saw this ridge over the west, and it was nice and warm, but we're going to see things take a dramatic turn towards colder, wetter, and snowier. So we're going to see a cool down in the southwest as well. We're going to see those temperatures in the 70s and 80s. So the very nice, cooler weather will move into the desert southwest as well. So let's take a look at that warmth across the southwestern U.S. that we will see for the remainder of your Sunday. Again, warmer than average. We're seeing those temperatures in the 100-degree range around Phoenix the interior deserts of Southern California and Southern Nevada and Southern New Mexico and Southwestern Texas. But that is going to begin to change as we move through the week, as cooler weather starts to move in to the western U.S., and that includes the Southwest. We have our departing nor'easter here in the Northeast. We're still seeing it rain through Maine and parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and some Massachusetts. Showers will be possible through Pennsylvania, parts of upstate New York and Connecticut. A few showers will linger behind here on the backside. Northwesterly winds will take over, and that cooler and chillier conditions will also begin to drop down out of Canada across the Great Lakes. Through the Ohio Valley is where we're first going to see that chill in the air and that potential for frost, as well as that windy with those 30 to 40 mile an hour winds and those temperatures that's going to be about 20 to 30 degrees cooler than we saw earlier in the week. So as that storm moves on out, that dry air moves in. The drier air will lead to some frost and freeze potential because that drier air will have lower dew points, lower humidity. So we will see those temperatures able to drop a lot faster in the nighttime hours, especially over the interior, the more sparsely populated. If you're in Pittsburgh, places, if you're in the big cities, I wouldn't worry too much about frost. But if you're in the outer suburbs, more sparsely populated, less densely, less concrete, more grass, more rural areas, you would have to worry about the frost and the freeze of the grass and things like that. But if you're in the big city, in the interior, in the inner city, don't worry about it too much. It's only going to be for the outskirts and the outer outlying areas. So again, frost and freeze potential in the morning on Monday. And again on Tuesday, that frost and freeze potential across the eastern Great Lakes and into the Northeast and down through parts of the Appalachian mountain range as well. And the Appalachian is going to be enjoying a nice warm up here through Tuesday into Thursday before the next storm system starts to gather and move in from the west. Could we see another wet weekend across the Northeast? Well, will remain to be seen. But here we are with nice high pressure building in across the Northeast. Warmer weather, drier weather, less wind as well. So going to be a pretty pleasant time for the midweek point there. So enjoy your Tuesday through Thursday as those temperatures will warm nicely and we can see 10 degrees above the historical average for this time of the year. So a nice warm up across the Northeast. And we're going to see that on the flip side, on the opposite coast, much colder across the Northwest. So we could be 20 to 30 degrees colder than last week. We're going to see the rain and snow across the Rockies, much cooler temperatures across the Southwest and breezy as well. We're going to see west and northwest winds across the Southwest and those northwest winds across the the Northwest and the Northern Rockies. And so Montana, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington, Utah, Colorado, we're going to see that snow potential when some areas can pick up as much as a foot. We do have some areas with blizzard potential as well. So we're going to be tracking this developing system as well as how it interacts with the expected tropical moisture across Texas. And we're going to see how the combination of these two areas of active weather will combine to make for wintry weather and more spring-like weather with that heavy rain and maybe some severe thunderstorms as well. So as thinking of that heavy rain, that significant rainfall that will fall down here across the central and southern plains, so Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, parts of New Mexico, northern Mexico, we're going to see that moisture coming off of the Gulf of Mexico and the remnant of Hurricane Norma will combine, and then we have energy from our jet stream that's dropping down, and that area of low pressure across the Northwest will combine to enhance this and energize it and make things unstable where we could see some significant rainfall across especially western Texas, where we could see as much as 8 inches of rain. So a big weather maker potential, and we could also see the potential for wintry weather across the Northwest this week, next weekend, across from Minnesota, Wisconsin, North and South Dakota, parts of Illinois, Iowa, Michigan. We have the potential to see some snow across the Midwest and much cooler weather. I mean, temperatures in the 20s and 30s for daytime highs. Whew. We don't even want to think about that just yet, but we'll keep tracking it, let you know how things evolve with time. And my name is Mr. G, your student meteorologist from Mississippi State University. Thank you for watching me. Leave your likes, comments, and concerns. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel on YouTube and to the channel on TikTok. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.